What's up, G-Show land, and welcome to another episode of the G-Show podcast. I am G1, and this is the Godzilla Block Party. The no news edition, because honestly, there really ain't nothing to talk about. We all know everything that's going on right now. GVK is pushed back to May 2021. Hopefully it still comes out at that time. Hopefully the world's still around at that time. But yeah, so there's really ain't nothing in terms of speaking about Godzilla versus Kong, although we will maybe make mention of a article that was posted earlier today, July 8th, that I found is extremely funny. But anyway, joining me as always, my right hand when it comes to Godzilla on the G Show, my brother in arms from another mother, G73, a.k.a. Megsy, a.k.a. my brother Chase. How's it going, brother?
God, man, it just seems like, that saying, when it rains, it pours.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, right now, it's like when it rains, it pours gallons of shit.
Righto, I swear to God.
That's just how it is right now, man, and we just gotta hope our umbrella just stays intact.
If we had an umbrella made of kaiju hide, I think we'd be all right. But yeah, man. So it's been a while since we've been on because, like I said, there's really been nothing happening in the world of Godzilla, in the world of kaiju for that matter. Little things here and there, nothing to get crazy excited about. But every now and then you just want to talk shop, and that's what we're gonna do today. We're just gonna talk shop. We're just gonna go with the flow and hopefully have a good time. I mean, like I said, there's not much in the news of Godzilla stuff, so we're gonna just freestyle and do things like randomly off the top of our heads, things we want to see, things we might have been watching, and just things we want to talk about. First things first, though, there was an article today that dropped on some, on a site apparently that people mock. I don't really follow the site. I just saw it pop up. I dropped it in the messenger group with the big smiley face because it was what we talked about, I think either the last time we podcast or the one previous to that, where it was stating that there is going to be footage from Godzilla vs. Kong being shown at the end of the month with the re-release of Inception. Now, I'm totally laughing at this because there's no way in hell they're going to even show Inception at the end of this month, let alone any, preview for Godzilla vs. Kong. But, it wasn't just Godzilla vs. Kong that was mentioned. It was also Wonder Woman 84 and another, a bunch of other Warner Brothers slots. But because they were focusing on Godzilla vs. Kong, because it was a Godzilla website, they just, to me, it's like, it's an unfortunate thing because you're going to get people's hopes up. But I also don't think people in our community really care that much about Inception running to the theaters to see. And I'm not saying that there aren't people in the fandom that just like movies in general. I do, but with everything going on right now, there's no doubt in my mind, people aren't going to be running out to the movie theaters just to catch a glimpse of GVK when there's no doubt about it. Warner Brothers knows better. That'll be online sooner than you think, as far as a little teaser trailer or some footage goes. There's no way Warner Brothers puts the safety, and the health and safety of us, of the patrons, at risk. It's just not going to happen. But Brother Chase, I know we discussed this that one time, but any new feelings about it? And you apparently know that site, and should I stay away from that place?
Everybody should. Anything sci-fi related needs to be put in a blocked box and left there from cardboard audiences. The thing is, what's really funny is I don't know if they're just trolling or they're spitballing or this is absolutely 100% true. Because, for one, everyone right now in California knows that the movie theaters are shut down again. Gavin Newsom's the governor of California. He's been shutting everything down every other day. Every other day, a new county has been shut down. Bars, restaurants, wineries, movie theaters, gyms, all these places. There's like barely any county. My county still is open, but there's only one movie theater in my county. and it's not even open. It's not even open right now. So for this website to make this claim, like there's going to be something shown at the end of the month, who's going to show it?
Right.
It's not like next week Newsom's going to be like, "Hey, these are open again." There's no point.
We're opening theaters.
I mean, I don't know where they heard this information. I don't know where this logic came in. But, I mean, unless they know something we don't, which is most of the time 99% bullshit, there's no way in hell they're showing it. And not all the movies that are supposed to come out, like that Unhinged movie, Unhinged isn't even coming out to the end of the month. And even then, it's probably not coming out anymore.
I saw that.
Then there's all these other movies that are supposed to come out. Nothing's coming out in July now. Everything's getting pushed to August and September.
I did see that one Unhinged. Yep.
Yeah, there's no way in hell anything will be shown. I mean, I don't know where they would show it. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for them to show something in a county where movie theaters open, where they're not going to try and hit a mass audience with it. So I don't know where they're getting this piece of information from, but as always, stay away from sci-fi. GodzillaMovies.com is not a credible source. Most of the time, it's a whole bunch of just fans just making
shit up.
Provocative claims. It's just all made up. It's make-believe. It's fairy tale. I've had many issues with a lot of articles on that website, and nothing has come true from that website, people. Nothing has come true at all from that website. And if it has come true, it's because they ripped it from some other site that reported it before them. This place is not a credible source, and it just irritates me because when I saw you post that article, I went on all my pages just to see if there's anything backing it up. And no one's backing it up but just fans that are either 13-year-olds that have no train of that are just gullible, or it's just other pages that just rehash what Godzilla movies and sci-fi talks about. Nothing has been officially reported, and I don't see it happening.
Yeah,
I don't see it happening. I'll be surprised if it happens.
I totally agree with you, especially when you said that your state is closing down, your governor is shutting things down.
Of Hollywood, California,
right? Exactly. And that's the crazy thing too, because like when Nevada went into their phase 2, which was the end of May, the beginning of June, theaters weren't opening up yet. Theaters weren't supposed to open up until July 2nd, I think. Yeah, July 2nd or 3rd, whatever. The first week of July, pretty much. That's when they were saying theaters were going to open up again. But that didn't happen. That is totally not the case. And we're on the verge of shutting everything down again because we're spiking like crazy. And there's no way that the theaters are going to be opening up by the end of the month. Just because you shut things down doesn't mean that in that 2 weeks, things are just going to poof, vanish and go away. Because pretty much we've all done that before. And let's take New York, for example. New York was on a lockdown for like 3 months. And now the curve is flattened. And now, it's not as crazy as it was at the start of this. But we, out here on the West, and like you said, Hollywood.
Well, yeah, they did report, like, I think yesterday that they are starting to see spikes again.
Yeah.
And they're trying to stop their spread.
Yeah. So you think about it. I mean, if half the country is shut down, these movies aren't going to go, to theaters. So all of this wishful thinking, and again, it's not going to happen. It just ain't. I honestly don't think we're going to see any new movies in the theaters this year. And if we do get to November and things start opening up, I'll be surprised. But I think this year, as far as movies, are a bust, and it's unfortunate, but. I mean, hey, what the hell? Comic-Con is like supposedly supposed to drop this weekend, right? Like, this was the week of Comic-Con. This was the week of G-Fest. That's what I want to actually talk about right now real quick. For anybody listening to this, there is a free kaiju convention going on this weekend. and because G Fest, couldn't do anything this year, there's a lot of people within the kaiju community, a lot of people that get together G Fest and put it together, and they're coming together and they're basically streaming it. I believe either on a website or on YouTube, but they're gonna be streaming kaiju stuff. And they're not gonna have any GVK shit there. That would be insane if they were able to pull something like that off. But I think this is a really cool idea to give, especially people who go to G-Fest every year, because you do have those people that all they do is look forward to July, that July 11th weekend, second weekend of July, whatever, to go to G-Fest and have a great time, see their friends that they don't get to see, except for this one time a year thing. And right now, it's an unfortunate situation. Everything is stopped. But this is a cool idea to now bring pretty much even more people together. You know what I mean? Like, depending on what they're going to do, I think they're going to have like an artist alley. And I kind of dug some of the things I was reading. It basically said like they'll have an artist alley or something, and they'll be like pretty much putting up art for sale. Like, you like it, go to the artist's website or something to that effect and, buy some art pieces. I think that's actually a genius idea. I don't know exactly the whole itinerary, but I do know that, for what it's worth, if I'm not doing nothing this weekend, which I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be, yeah, I might just pop on and check it out, see what's going on. Like, I would love to see some kind of like that was another thing I did see. They were talking about they might have like model kit building classes and stuff online, like just little things like that. And I think that's a cool thing. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the effort.
I also think that remember a while back, a couple months ago or so, we were talking about this 2-dimensional kaiju video game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, I think the other day they posted that they're going to be at this event too.
Oh, dude, that's one of those things. You see, that's an awesome thing. Like, that's a nice little premiere for the kaiju community, to get. That's fantastic. Something to look forward to.
I'm not sure though, but I remember on Twitter seeing something. They said they're going to be at some con, and so like this weekend. So
who should be there? The people who made MANEATER. I'm telling you something, brother. I played that game last week. I played that game last week, and I poo-pooed on that game for a bit. Oh man. It's addictive, bro. I had bad fun with it.
It's a fun little simple game.
They should have something at Kaiju Con or whatever they're calling this thing this weekend and announce Path of the Kaiju. Like, dude, I love the idea of like turning my shark into like this monster shark. Like whether it's a vampire-looking shark, the electric shark, or my personal favorite, the bone shark.
That's your favorite? Now I have the shadow shark mostly on mine.
I like the bone shark because I go around, I eat a couple of people, and then I just get into it with the hunters. Like, that's my thing, and because like he has the most impervious skin.
That's cool.
I just go in. I literally the other day, I think Sunday, I wasted like 3 hours just thrashing around the hunters. Literally, just wait 3 hours, gone, poof. Just thrashing hunters. I just couldn't stop. I couldn't put it down. But I would love to see them go a little bit deeper with that, man. Make the shark a little bit bigger, a little bit more monstrous. The possibilities, because it's tongue in cheek as it is, but the possibilities are freaking endless now. And there's a little Easter egg in there about kaiju. I was like, I love that. Like, come on. But yeah, dude, you kidding me? Like,
there's a lot of cool Easter eggs. I saw the It Easter egg, which was really cool.
That was cool.
The Peter Pan Easter egg for the movie Hook.
Yep.
When the alligator and the clock. They have a lot of cool Easter eggs, man.
That was the first one I found too. Like literally, and I didn't I was just playing the game, and I just came across this little inlet, and I was like, "Well, oh shit, it's cool."
What I like so much about it, it's just a simple, whimsical, fun, different RPG than the hack and slash that we've been getting, and and it's just the story of it is just so silly.
Yeah.
But then it gets really serious, and then it's like still silly. But it was a fun game. I was glad I picked it up, honestly.
Yeah, I borrowed it from my nephew. I got to give it back soon, but I think that might be a purchase just because, again, the DLC content that should be coming. There's so much possibility, so many possibilities that you could do with this. I want to definitely fight.
They have said they have tons of ideas that they want to do and stuff. So I'd love to see some stuff.
Absolutely, dude, because there's no doubt in my mind you have to have a giant squid in there sometime, right? Like how
Right.
I want to do that. I want to fight a giant squid now. I would just like my shark to be a little bit bigger. I want it to be, dude. When I got up to the sperm whale, I was like, holy shit! Like if only I could be a little bit bigger, not as big as the sperm whale, just a little bit bigger, where I could just like, I don't know, I'm going crazy, but I shitted on the game before, I played it now, and I was like, yo, this is fun. And usually, you know me, I'm an achievement whore. Usually I beat a game, I get the achievements, I throw it to the side, I'm done with it. I don't need to play it anymore. Certain games I make exceptions to, like Modern Warfare 2, for instance. I'll throw that game on any day just to run around, shoot some people in the head, and then, you know what I'm saying, call it a day. This was one of those games where I was like, yeah, I'm going to get my quick 1,000 and throw it to the side. I haven't done it. I have not thrown it to the side. I go to it, man. It's fun. It's definitely a stress relief. But yes, listen, publishers and creative forces behind Maneater, Kaiju-size the shark. Give us some giant squid. Maybe some blue whales, like just make everything bigger and badder. Maybe we gotta fight a megalodon, like a legit megalodon.
Well, that's you. When you grow your shark all the way, you are a realistically sized megalodon.
Yeah,
scientifically.
Well,
but to like be like from the Meg,
that's what I want.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to be able to swallow ships whole. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to run up on not even a rowboat. I feel like it's too cheap, but like I want to run up on like a yacht and be able to bite it in half. Like that would be fucking dope.
That would be cool.
But yeah. Anyhow, that had to throw that in there because again, quarantine life. This is what you do, man. I've been playing video games, reading comic books, watching movies. You know, that's just the way I go. Well, really watching like Ultraman. Oh, dude, let me tell you.
If you want to get the movie Ready Player One and just worship it, that's what it feels like we're going into.
Dude, yeah, for real, right? Holy crap. I was looking forward to, I was actually going to watch that movie soon because I watch wrestling. Obviously, you know, I got no shame saying that. I love it. And on Wednesday nights, I watch AEW, and that's on TNT, and TNT is constantly showing trailers. They do like the blockbuster Saturday movies or whatever they calling it, and you know they were showing like previews for Ready Player One, but it like starts off with Mecha Godzilla just running, and I'm like, yes, like it's just like
that's how you get it.
Yeah, it was like that's how you get me, and I own the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need to watch it on TNT with commercials, but dude, you start that shit off with Mecha G, like hell yeah, boy, that's what's up. But real quick, speaking of wrestling, I have to throw this in there because I found it the absolute insane funniest thing in the world. And this is going to be short, sweet, and quick. But AEW, this week and last week, had a 2-part free pay-per-view they called Fyter Fest, right? So last week, the first match was a tag team match between a team called... oh my God. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, Jurassic Express, right? Where they have this giant of a man in a dinosaur lucha libre mask called Luchasaurus, right? And I absolutely love this dude. And then a smaller, fast, agile wrestler, Jack Perry, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, right? And they were going up against two dudes. One dude's a fantastic wrestler, MJF, right? And his big guy named Wardlow, right? And the reason why I bring this up, right? First off, because Luchasaurus is legitly a giant dude with 2 giant ponytails coming down his back, a freaking dinosaur mask. Dude, it's a dinosaur mask, right? Green tongue. And his movesets are like called the tail whip. Like he does a roundhouse kick to your head. They call it the tail whip. It's just so much fun. But I digress. What really got me, the reason why I'm talking about it is because Chris Jericho, world famous wrestler Chris Jericho, loved him, 20 some odd years, 30 years,
and
whatever.
I love his music.
And that Judas is one of the best songs I ever heard. I love that song.
Yep.
He was on commentary, right? And he was calling the match. And when Luchasaurus and Wardlow got in the ring together to face off, now this has been building over the months because they're two big monster men. And I'm like, yeah, this is the fight I want to see. When they got together in the ring and went face to face, he was like, oh, look at this. It's like King Kong versus Godzilla. It's King. And he just started going on. And he wouldn't stop. He just kept saying, like, King Kong, Godzilla, King Kong, Godzilla. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, could they get like a copyright thing? Like I was bugging. And then here's the deal. Like, okay, so Luchasaurus, again, 7'2", 300-some pounds, just giant of a man, right? And the reason why they call him Luchasaurus is because he moves like one of those little luchadors, like Rey Mysterio. He runs from one end of the ring, bounces off the rope, runs to the other side with it. Everybody's outside on the bottom ring, jumps over the ropes in a flip and lands on everybody. It was the most insane thing I saw. And Chris Jericho goes, and I gotta give him so much props for this. He goes, oh my God, he just went from Godzilla to Mothra. Dude, I lost my mind. I lost it.
Amazing.
I said, Chris Jericho, you are the fucking man, bro. I love you, dude. I was screaming. And the fact that I DVR these things, I'm not going to delete that one, and it was the first match of the night. It was so freaking cool. I loved it. Chris Jericho, you're an amazing man. You're amazing on commentary. It really lit up it was the beginning of the show, and it lit it up for me because I'm like, look at Chris Jericho going nuts, calling him King Kong versus Godzilla, and not even stopping. Just kept calling him Godzilla and King Kong the whole thing. And then when this dude jumped over the ropes, he went from Godzilla to Mothra. Dude, I lost it. But
you see, and that brings me to a thought I've been pondering actually for a past while. We need more shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, honestly, I feel in our world with Jurassic Park and just dinosaurs being a main thing anyways, and Godzilla being the staple that it is, I feel like our culture would absolutely love something like Godzilla. And I feel like a lot of our culture, they just shrug it off without giving it a try. And I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, if we were just accepted it and opened it, I bet you Godzilla would be a type of franchise in the United States right now where it would be making money like the Jurassic movies would be making and stuff like that. And I feel like when we have more of these type of things where we hype it up and we just make these more out there, more aware, and we do it right to where it sticks like a catchy way, I feel like that helps, people gravitate towards it. And I think that's awesome that he did that because
and I'll
don't just go nuts with it.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like Jericho was there and he was playing the bad guy commentator, obviously, and he's really good. First of all, Jericho's one of the most amazing talkers in the industry, and he was on fire, literally, like he was going in. But it wasn't like he was mocking King Kong or Godzilla, and that's what I really appreciated even more so. Because yes, here you have a gigantic dude in a dinosaur mask, right? And then an equally giant dude that does look like a fucking, silverback ape.
Kaiju, right?
Yeah.
Reminds me of the Showa days.
Yeah, and the fact that, there's Chris Jericho saying, look, it's like King Kong versus Godzilla. It just, and the way it was just nonstop, it was perfection. I loved it. Giving me some kaiju references in my fucking wrestling. And the fact that he even knew, like, the Mothra thing, that went through. I was like, Jericho, that I didn't know you were there, bro. I love you. But, yeah, I agree. I wish we would have more of that in our pop culture where it could bring more awareness to Godzilla. And look, at the end of the day, Godzilla in King of the Monsters pretty much put a little emphasis on this. It is, at the end of the day, it's for kids. Like, I mean, we were kids growing up watching it, and then as adults, we get the meaning to some of them, deeper concepts that the writers were putting into the movies. You know what I mean? Yeah, for us as children, this giant dinosaur blowing up the city, fighting other monsters. This is amazing. But as an adult, again, like, you take Godzilla 54, for instance. As a kid, I'm like, 90% of that movie, I'm out of it. It's not until Godzilla's there that I'm like, yeah! And even then, it's different. It's scary, because as a kid, you're like, whoa, this is very evil, right? And don't get me wrong, I still like all that stuff. But as an adult now, you appreciate that movie so much more. Whether you love it or not, you're like, damn, that's a deep fucking movie. And pretty much all those Godzilla movies have that. I mean, look, one of the ones that, I hate the most, and I'm not talking about shit Godzilla, but like Godzilla's Revenge. As a kid, I would watch that a lot because it was always on TV. So like, but I never got it. Like, I didn't get the meaning to that movie about bullying and all that shit. Like, none of that. That shit went right over my head. All I'm seeing is a kid there with Godzilla, with Minya, and they're fighting Gamera, and then Godzilla comes, and then Gamera's got the cool electric hand thing, whatever the case it was. And I'm like, cool. I hate that movie. I have not watched that movie in decades, bro. Decades. Like, maybe the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I might be lying there. I have not watched that movie in a very long time. And I own it. And I'm going to eventually rewatch it. But, when the internet age became a thing in my household, and I found all the forums and oh shit, there's a Godzilla website you can talk to other Godzilla fans about. This is crazy. That's where you see people putting that meaning out there. And I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I totally see it. Like, yeah, that's what it was about. Still don't give a shit. But yeah,
you see other people's perspectives.
Right, but
also too, when you're a kid, you have that just straight up, child imagination, child mentality, and it's not until you reach a certain point in your life or something traumatic or something just changes you to where you become open and perceptive to those type of things.
Yeah. I agree.
And you see things totally different.
But yeah, man, more of that stuff. I would love to see more of that stuff in just pop culture in general, and not ragging on it. Don't goof on it. Just, put it out there so people could be like, hey, you know what? This ain't as bad as we might have thought. Even though the last movies were kind of. Anyway, I digress. I'll tell you something. Also, I've been watching a lot of Ultraman, bro, and it's a lot of the old stuff. I'm doing them in order. I just wound up buying Ultraman, the first set. I had seen it already, so I was like, I'm not gonna buy that. So I bought Ultra 7, Return of Ultraman, and Ultraman Ace. I didn't buy any of like the newest stuff that Mills Creek has yet, because you can find them available on other places. Like I pay for instance, I pay for a subscription to Toku, and they have a lot of that stuff there. And there's other places you can find it. Well, the other day they had Ultraman for like $20. I said, I can't pass that up. $20, I'm gonna buy it. So I bought it. But right now I'm watching Ultraman Ace. I say this because I'm sitting there kind of shocked at some of the things I'm watching, and it started with the Return of Ultraman, which that one to this, like, as of right now, that's like my favorite one. Like I dug Return of Ultraman. I like Ultra 7, but I really did like Return of Ultraman. I don't know, but the main character, the guy who becomes Ultraman, right? This dude he's just like slapping people back and forth. It was just weird. He's smacking kids, smacking women. I'm like, holy shit. Like, dude, and it's crazy because, again, different time, different culture completely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But different times. It was just so weird living in the world we live in today. All that shit is absolutely frowned upon, right? Justifiably so. But, like, you gotta remember, like, this shit was legit in society back in the days. Like, fuck, I used to get my ass kicked when I was a kid by my parents if I fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a part of life. You don't learn your lesson from that ass whipping. then you're gonna get an even worse one. So now I got it. I'm not gonna do it again. You know, don't put your hand on the stove when the flame's on. Shit like that. So
don't touch the coffee pot.
Right. So I mean, like, it was crazy that I'm seeing that, right? But there was an episode like in the mid 30s, maybe late 30s, because I think there's only 51 episodes in that series, where two main characters die. And I mean, like, main characters. And not that they died, but it was the way they died that I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Bro, this is a kid's show in the 70s, and my man just got run over by a car. He got hit by a car. He flipped over the car. Flipped over the car. And then the guy that just got run over, his sister's in the car. These are two main characters. This is a love interest, and the main character's like mentor. They take the girl while they're driving the car, open the door, and start smashing her body into the floor as the car's driving. They're holding her body as the car... Dude, this is happening in a kid's show. I was like, what the fuck? Holding her body as they're driving until they come across a freaking telephone pole and she smashes into it and they just take off. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Is this happening for real? Dude, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Dude, I had no idea this was coming. Now, this is what I expected from Ultraman, right? In any of these Ultraman shows. Kaiju's getting decapitated, maybe, amputated, losing limbs, just par for the course pretty much. Ultraman's going to kill these things, right? It's not just going to be like Power Rangers. They slice into the beast and it blows up. No.
Yeah, with sparks.
Right. There's going to be a lot more than just that. And there is. And it gets crazy as it goes on. Believe me, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So yeah, that was in Return of Ultraman, bro. I was like, this is absolutely nuts that just happened. And, like, I see that, and it's hard for me as somebody who likes to, really get into the story and shit, see it just kind of let go, because that was like an integral part of this show, those characters, like, especially to the main character, to Ultraman. And I was just like, holy crap. And then it gets, it gets kind of lost, because then they don't kind of follow through. And that's the way they told stories back then. There were, mentions, but it wasn't like, there was no long. It was like, oh, that happened, time to move on. And it was just like, all right, it just happened too fast. I would love to get in there, right? And like throw side stories in there dealing with the grief and shit like that. But that was like the craziest thing I saw. But then I get to Ultraman Ace, which it's kind of growing on me. I'm not sold on it, and I'm like 40 episodes in, and I think there's 52 episodes in this one. And I was taken aback, because dude, some of the motherfuckers, some of the monster deaths, some of these kaiju deaths are gruesome. Dude, there was dude, I'm not even making this up. It was crazy. They brought a kaiju, right? They brought a kaiju in from Return of Ultraman, and I kind of liked this monster. It was like this cool amphibious looking monster. It kind of had Titanosaurus's roar, but I kind of dug this thing, right? I liked it. And they brought it back. And I was like, oh, snap, cool. Like, and it was crazy, because it was like these, there was the Earth monster, a space monster, and then the extra dimensional monster. And I was like, oh, dope. Like, I like how they did this. Dude, this thing comes up and he's like, we're doing this. He's screaming. Yo, these monsters, these alien monsters, they murdered. Listen to me when I tell you, they didn't just cut this thing's head off like an Ultraman. They grabbed its jaw and ripped it all the way down to its tail. I said, what the fuck did I just see? And dude, blood's gushing out. I'm like, wait a minute. What is it? This is 1972, brother. I said, what am I watching? They grabbed its lower jaw like King Kong and ripped it all the way down its neck, all the way down its stomach to its damn near to its tail. I was shocked. I was like, whoa. Dude, it's unbelievable, you know? Like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, this is the 70s. This is supposed to be a kids show. And good God, how we were so, you know, protected, quote unquote, from all of this freaking madness that was happening in Japan. Like, it just drives me nuts that the censorship out here for us, you know, was so tight as kids. Because look, I grew up watching, you know, He-Man, Thundercats, Transformers, G.I. Joe, then Ninja Turtles, you know, like I grew up watching all that stuff. Voltron was my intro to anime, and I didn't know it was called anime at that time. I just knew that the animation style is a little bit different from everything else I was watching. But even Voltron, like when they allude to death, but then, you know, they're not really dead. Then you come to find out in the original Japanese version, no, they were dead. Like, they were dead. And, like, now I'm kind of like, I wish I would have watched those Ultraman episodes on, like, TNT way back in those days, but I didn't like it. I was like, I'm not watching this hokey, corny stuff at all. Like, no, hell no. This is not, I can't. But I wish I would have watched it back then, even though I don't think the first Ultraman series was as gruesome as it is now. But I would just like to see what America did in terms of censorship. You know what I'm saying? To these shows. Because, bro, I'm telling you, man, I could not believe my eyes. I sat here and I said to myself, this is probably why Return of Ultraman was never showed in the United States. Because these two people who are, you know, mainstays on this show were brutally murdered. And I couldn't believe what I was watching. Brutal.
They were George R.R. Martin.
Dude, I just couldn't believe how they killed the girl. Like, that's his love interest. They literally would, like, holding her out of the car door onto the pavement as they were driving, and then they drove her into a telephone pole. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I'm blown away. But yeah, man, that's my Ultraman spiel. I'm hooked. I'm addicted. I really hope that Mills Creek is doing, you know, getting enough money. I hope people are buying this stuff so that they can release more. Even if they release just the Showa stuff, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's 3 more Showa shows, and then it jumps, I think, into the 90s. So it's like Ultraman Taiga, I think, or Tiga, I don't know. Taro, Ultraman Taro, Ultraman Leo, and then Ultraman 80. And I have Ultraman 80 and Ultraman Leo. It's on the Toku network. But, like, you know, I would love to buy these things and just have them, man. Have a nice little collection, bro. But yeah, that's my Ultraman thing. Dude, never in a million years would I have thought that I would be enjoying this the way I am. But never in a billion years would I have thought it would have been as violent as it is. I'm sitting there like, dude, there was one episode of freaking Alien grabbed a little boy, and threw him off the freaking highway. Wait a minute, what? It's like, what? He threw a little kid off the highway?
Obviously, they weren't sponsored by Disney.
For real. Oh my God, I'll tell you, bro, it was insane. Insane, man. I had to tell you, bro. It's one of those things, like, you just don't think like certain things are gonna have that. Like, for instance, like Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla in 1974, right? We see that movie for the first time out. I mean, I don't know about you, before, like, for me, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that you saw the American version of that before, if you even seen the Japanese version, right? The one with King Caesar.
I wouldn't know for sure.
Okay, well, I saw the first version, like, I saw the American version, right? And I loved it. I was like, this is dope, this is cool, whatever. But there was some weird random cuts that you just sit there and like, wait a minute, why is Godzilla bleeding out of his mouth? Like, what the hell happened? They censored all of that shit, that when he's getting shot up and and the blood is squirting all over the place. They censored all of that stuff, right?
I've seen that version.
Right, and I've seen that later on in life. You know what I mean? Like when I finally hunted and tracked down the Japanese versions, and you see how gruesome Godzilla could fucking be. Like there was just really no censorship. They're like, well, it's giant monsters. What the hell? Hell, I think if I'm not mistaken, Godzilla versus Gigan, there's some serious bloodletting.
Gigan cuts him up pretty good.
Yeah, and it's like, holy crap.
Geysers.
That's not in the American version. You know what I mean? Like that's not there. But it's just like it's things like that you just I'm wowed from. You know what I mean? I really am. So now I have a new goal for Ultraman is to count the carnage, like legit, it's a carnage count, to see are they going to outdo what has been done already? Because again, the two main characters again brutally murdered. They threw a little boy off a highway. He survived, by the way, but still, the fact that he threw a little boy off the highway was absolutely insane. What else? There's some real, again, culturally different type of, it's a different culture. The time was really different. I was watching one episode, got a little weird and uncomfortable. I was like, what the hell's going on? Where, this animal, literally, I forgot the name of the animal. It looked like a capybara, but it had a little snout, a small snout. I forget the name of the thing, but it like, and I don't know why they would put this in, but it like ran up on this little girl and it like went in like underneath her dress, and like the grown-ups are like all laughing at it, like ha ha ha, and the little girls and it was just really awkward. But again, culturally different and definitely a different time.
Revenge of Iris awkward.
That wasn't
dubbed.
That wasn't as awkward to me. I mean, what the whole come inside my sack.
Iris, I feel cold.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah. Man, listen, I was so into that movie. And the first time I saw, let me rephrase that. The first 20 times I saw that movie, it had no subtitles. I bought a bootleg, no subtitles. I did not care. I just wanted to see this movie because I saw a trailer and I was like, yo, this has to get got.
The American dub to that dub to that part is just, they did that on purpose to make it sound like a hentai porno.
Oh well,
it's bad,
and that's why I refuse to watch those Gamera movies with the dubs. But it's crazy because that's not like, so. If you're saying the way they said it made it sound bad, I could absolutely see that. But that is the line in the movie. Like that's what she says. Like that was the subtitles when I was watching them.
No, it's just the way they act it. It's just very seductive.
Yeah, that's so fucked up.
No, like first time I watched that, I mean, maybe it's just I'm a sick person, but I watched that scene and I'm like, huh. And it's the fact that it's a tentacle monster going towards her like that. It's just I was like, I don't know where their heads were at during that one, man.
Yeah, for real, right? Like, good lord. I love that movie. I gotta give that a rewatch, but I think I'm gonna wait. I see, it's kind of crazy. Like, I'm gonna see if my brother would go half with me on this set. I told him I would give him my Gamera collection that I have. Yeah, I'm gonna ask. I'm like, dude, let's go half on this set. I will give you all of my Gamera movies, and then I would have the new box set. Because my whole thing is, I want to see if the subtitles on this new Gamera box set are legit and not the ones from the Blu-rays and the ones that were released already.
Okay. Like you don't want you want to make sure they're not just carbon like copied.
Exactly. Like especially just the Heisei movies. Because the Showa movies are dope. Like, I watched them. They're all good. Because I had VHS tapes before, I had a DVD player or Blu-ray player. And so I would get the tapes and the subtitles. They really do match up. And trust me when I tell you this, I used to watch these movies every night. That's why some of the Sony Heisei movies for Godzilla, they're, every now and then I'm like, wait, that's not what the subtitle's supposed to say. Come on. But, it's still close enough. My Gamera 3, there are parts where the subtitles just don't even show up. So there's and then like, and I think I said this before. Some of the names are different. Like literally, 1 minute they're talking to the girl, whatever, and they're calling her by her name. That's her name the whole movie. And then the next minute they call her a completely different name, and it's not her first or last name. It's just like they call her a different character, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So somebody fell asleep at the wheel there, and I just hope that this new set, they go and they like do it right and do it justice, because that's what it needs. And again, you know what else? Like special features. It needs to have some special features. You know, give me some behind the scenes shit from that Heisei Gamera trilogy. I'm buying it, bro.
Not just the Matt Frank art.
Exactly. Which I got no problem with that, you know, but no, I want some. You know how like old school Godzilla movies, the Heisei ones especially, like if you had the VHS tapes after the movie rolled, they would give you like outtakes and like behind the scenes shit. And I used to love that. They should show you special effects. The Godzilla vs. Biollante DVD and Blu-ray that Miramax dropped, they have a special feature section.
Yeah.
Dude, that was all on my bootleg VHS.
One of the biggest things I remember from my childhood is when I rent the 60, I think it was 60. This is the Mothra versus Godzilla. Is it 62? Is that when that one came out, or is it six? No, that's 64.
It's 64, yeah, because 62 is King Kong.
Yeah. When you would finish that, when I went to Hollywood and Videos, when you'd finish the movie, they would do a trailer ensemble of multiple like Godzilla movies, and then they would do like little toy advertisements and stuff. And there was tons of Godzilla movies that I never knew existed. And that's what kind of got me more into Godzilla as a kid. You know, frankly, this was when I was a little kid.
Right.
But I remember that. But it was one of the coolest things after the movie, because they would have really cool trailers. Especially the Titanosaurus one. And then it's just Godzilla and Titanosaurus squaring off in this Tokyo type place.
Love it. That's one of my favorite scenes of all time. I love it.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest scenes in Godzilla history, in my opinion.
Absolutely is. But yeah, man, like if that Gamera box set does some stuff like that, some cool special bonus features for especially the Heisei movies, because you know they cataloged all that stuff. They had to have. Then I'm down for it. And if the subtitles are right. And I saw, like, I think on their trailer they put out the one where it has the Godzilla music starting up, or that Godzilla noise from Legendary. Such a ripoff. But watching that trailer, you see some subtitles from that Heisei movies. And it looks good. I mean, they don't look like is it Mills Creek or is it Shout Factory? I forgot who put... I think it's Shout Factory who put the Heisei Gamera trilogy out. But it definitely doesn't look like that. But I do have to rewatch those movies, man. And that's going to happen. That's going to happen soon, because those are good, fun films, man. Especially Gamera 2. I love that movie, man. I do. I really do. I think about that movie a lot. I love that movie. But
I love Gamera 2 as well. That was one of my favorites. Yeah, and then also... Yeah, Gamera 2 Attack. I have the actual DVD of it, the Attack of like the standalone DVD of it. The Advent of Legion.
Yep.
But then I have the trilogy as well and stuff.
I love that.
That was one of my favorite ones.
I love that title, Advent of Legion. I love it, bro. I love it. And you know, it's funny, like. Me and my brother, we don't even call it Legion. We still call it Legion, because that's how they were saying it in you know, the Japanese version and stuff.
That's funny.
So that's like, you know, Legion. No, it's Legion. It just sounds cooler. It just sounds like an alien monster. You know what I'm saying? Even though it is Legion, but I like saying Legion. And man, I tell you, that movie was literally the epitome of miniature special effects, suitmation. Like, they fucking nailed it. And in Gamera 3, you can see, you know, where they went for, you know, the blend of CG with miniatures, with suitmation. And I mean, CG on a small level, but some really good shots nonetheless. I mean, there are some gorgeous shots of Iris in that third movie. I absolutely love, like Iris walking over the hill in the daytime after the or right after or right before the military shoot at him. I think it's after.
See, I was thinking that too. I don't know. I thought it was before the
Right.
military shooting at him during that.
Yeah, I think so. And then he's just like walking,
He just annihilates them, though.
I love it. And then that shot where, he's flying and he comes up at the moon. Good Lord, talk about a beautiful shot. I love that shot. And that's what I wanted from Godzilla, dude. That's all I ever wanted. Like, as soon as those movies came out, I was like, all right. I mean, the ball's in your court, Toho. We can make it happen. You got the tools, you got the talent, you got the money, you got the student. Just don't let this giant overgrown turtle show you up. And I still ain't seen nothing that compares to some of the cinematic shots. I still have not, and it makes me sad sometimes. It does, but we'll get there. We'll definitely get there.
Yeah. Well, I think there's some nods. Like for me, Tokyo SOS has some really good shots.
Yeah.
And as far as what it's worth, Shin Godzilla has some good shots too.
Yeah.
But the thing is with, like, regardless of shots, the one thing I've always like paid attention to is Godzilla has always had moments in my opinion that were a lot better than like Gamera's moments.
Absolutely.
Like, take Godzilla versus Biollante for chance. When they're in the helicopter and they're surveying the volcano and stuff like that. Like, that's one of those moments for me where it's a pitiable moment. Or like in Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, when Mickey's like, oh, I can sense Godzilla, and he's underwater, and it's that blue screen, and he's walking by it, and it's just they play the march theme, and stuff. Like, that's one of those moments to me too. And then, like, when he destroys the submarine, like, I've always felt like there was, like, but of course, like, I feel like I was saying a couple weeks ago, if they did a modern Godzilla movie like Shin Godzilla, where it was like Heisei Godzilla or something, and they did shots like that, that would be perfect.
Absolutely.
Because there were some great shots in Shin Godzilla.
It really was. That shot, man, you just talked about that shot in Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Man, I love that shot where he's underwater and the submarine's coming, and then, like, you see that suit, and it's like, oh, yeah. I love that shot.
And then also another one, Godzilla, Mothra and Godzilla Battle for Earth, when he's fighting Batra underwater. That's a good one too. That's a volcano.
That's a good one. But I'll tell you, man, my all-time favorite shot is when he comes out of the volcano, and just there's some really awesome shots of Godzilla during that sequence, like overhead.
That was the you can tell that's like the 91 suit, or the 91 suit.
Yeah.
And then they don't use it. It's like, why couldn't you just use that suit for the rest of the movie? But I love what the scientist is saying in the helicopter, like, oh, Godzilla survived the magma. This is way beyond our understanding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just love that, because it's like, Godzilla literally is the force of nature. There's nothing you can do about it.
Absolutely, man. I love that shit. I love it, man. Well, listen, brother, I think we're gonna wrap this one up here, because we freestyled. It was a good one. It definitely was a good one. But thank you, my friend, for joining me today.
Absolutely.
And thank y'all all out there for hanging out with us. If you hear I'm being a little reserved and shit, I've got family over, and they're all upstairs watching Disney Plus. So I tried to make them watch the Criterion Collection, but they're all females, and they were like, no, and it's very hard to convert them.
No, we want to watch The Mandalorian and Ogle Baby Yoda.
Yeah, but I wish that was the case, but now they want to.
I should totally finish The Mandalorian, since I haven't done it yet.
And that you should, my friend. You should. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for joining us. Until next time, I am G1, and we are out of here. Peace.